United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon arrives in the island. Loss incurred from the avant-garde transaction exceeds 11 billion rupees. Bribery Commission files cases against 8 individuals including Gotabaya Rajapakse. Police fire tear gas at cricket enthusiast in Dambulla. Student protesters dispersed using force. Will the underground tunnels in the hill country pose a threat to natural water springs? Debate over the SLFP convention again.
අවසාන තීරණය අපිට දැනගන්න පුළුවන්කමක් ලැබෙන්නේ අනිද්දා පෙරවරුව වෙනවා.
සමහරු හිතාමතා නොෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක ලොකු ප්‍රශ්නයක් හැට අපි සලකන්නේ නැහැ.
ඉතිහාසයේ කවදාවත් නැති මහා ජන ගඟක් අපේ පක්ෂ සම්මේලනයේට අපේ රුණෑගල ළඟා වෙනවා.
Good evening and welcome. This is Newsfirst Primetime News on TV1 and Shakti TV. I am Shahin Jurangpati.
And I'm Jitendra Gunasena. Let's now take a look at the top story for tonight. The National Drug Prevention Programme, a drug-free country, was held at the Meekaha Ala grounds in Hiriyala Kurunagala under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena today.
An investiture ceremony was held for students who contributed to the drug prevention program, while President Sirisena also presented awards to officials who had remained committed to the cause. Drugs is the main cause for the surge in poverty in our country. It is the low-income families in the country who spend the most on narcotics. We should all work towards eradicating this social menace as quickly as possible. Poverty, diseases, social rejection and severe economic downfall, these are the serious consequences of the use of drugs. Therefore, I request the support of everyone to take this national program strong and forward. I call for a national movement to take this program across the country. Meanwhile, the technology faculty of the Kumugate Central College was declared open under the auspices of the President.
Commencing a 3-day official visit, United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon arrived in Sri Lanka a short while ago. Following his arrival, Ban Ki-moon is due to meet Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. He will then call on President Maithripala Sirisena tomorrow. During his visit, the Secretary General will also meet with several cabinet ministers, including the Minister of Foreign Affairs Mangala Samaravira, Speaker Karu Jayasuriya, political party leaders and civil society representatives.
The Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, arrived in the island shortly after 7:30 p.m. this evening. Upon his arrival, he was welcomed to the island by a delegation including Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Harsha De Silva. Thereafter, he placed his signature at the Golden Book placed at the VVIP lounge at the Bandaranaike International Airport premises. Reporting from the Bandaranaike International Airport with my cameraman Nandala Vimalasena, I'm Zulfik Farzan for News First.
Meanwhile, the UN Secretary General also engaged in discussions with Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe today.
Police fired tear gas to disperse a group of protesters who demonstrated obstructing the main road opposite the Dambulla International Cricket Stadium.
A group who arrived at the location attempted to obtain tickets even after Sri Lanka Cricket on a prior occasion released a notice stating that tickets for today's match have been sold out. The situation aggravated thereafter. The police was called to control protesters. However, this resulted in a tense situation between cricket fans and the police. The police thereafter resorted to firing tear gas to disperse the protesters.
Are we millionaires? We also like to watch a cricket match. We cannot travel to Pallekele or our Premadasa. They have given this to an Indian company. They have rendered all Sri Lankan sports fans helpless. They do not have to sell it online. If they sold it at the gate, we can buy them too. Why are we here on the road today? We did not come here to enjoy ourselves by consuming alcohol. We came here because we love our country.
According to Sri Lanka Cricket, a total of around 18,000 cricket fans had arrived at the Dambulla International Cricket Stadium to catch a glimpse of today's match.
Crowd still coming in at the back there. Said it was a work day.
Police took measures to disperse a protest staged by the Inter-University Students' Federation today.
The protest march, which was staged against the private medical college in Malabar, commenced close to the Sri Jawadhanapura University. The protesters marched along High Level Road and entered Call Road via Thumulla in an attempt to approach temple trees. During the march, the police had informed the protesting students in Nugegoda that a court order has been issued, preventing them from approaching the high security zone. The police set up roadblocks at the Kolpiri junction in another attempt to prevent the students from approaching temple trees. Thereafter, the police took measures to disperse the students.
Meanwhile, members of the Students' Action Committee of the Malabar Private Medical College gathered at the Gangaramya Temple today. Engaging in religious observances, they requested for their right to education be safeguarded. The Students' Committee went on to note that they wish the anger and jealousy of those who protest against the Malabar Private Medical College fade away.
A group of persons staged a demonstration today over the removal of a war heroes memorial which was erected in close proximity to the Maliga Petiya grounds along the Kurunegala-Dambulla road.
The demonstrators charged that this war heroes memorial was removed during the road renovation activities. Later, MP Salinda Disanayaka arrived at the location. Following the protests, the protesters proceeded towards the parliamentarians' residence. A few minutes after the arrival of the protesters at the MP's residence, former President Mahinda Rajapakse arrived at the location. I believe that we need to fully oppose this action. I received the message whilst at home that you all have gathered here. This is an injustice.
Meanwhile, responding to the allegation that the War Heroes Memorial had been removed, the President had this to say.
The
Dambulla-Kurunegala main road has been under renovation for a number of years. The War Heroes Memorial, which was erected close to the Kurunegala town, had to be removed temporarily owing to renovation activities. It was removed by army personnel. Following the conclusion of renovation activities, a new memorial will be erected, one which is more better than the one that was removed. I was made aware that a demonstration was carried out owing to its removal. This was the result of a group of people misleading these area residents and the entire nation. As the memorial was being removed, I instructed the army, the defense secretary, the chief minister and members of the provincial council to construct a war memorial which is more creative and will stand strong.
The Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption has filed cases against 8 persons, including former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapakse, with regard to the transactions involving Avantgarde. Filing a case at the Colombo Magistrates Court, the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption informed court that transactions involving Avantgarde had caused the country a loss of 11.4 billion rupees. Cases have been filed against the former Defence Secretary, Chairman of Avantgarde Nishanka Senadipati and former Additional Secretary at the Ministry of Defence Damayanti Jayaratne. Cases have also been filed against 3 former Navy commanders, namely Admiral Somatilaka Disanayaka, Retired Admiral Jayanath Columbage and Admiral Jayanta Pereira. Moreover, cases were also filed against former CEO of Avantgarde, Major General K.B. Egodavela and former Chairman, Major General Palita Fernando. Officials of the Bribery Commission requested Additional Magistrate Nishanta Piris to issue notices to the 8 suspects. The Additional Magistrate informed the officials to present more information in this regard to Chief Magistrate Gihan Pilapitia to issue notices. Therefore, the officials of the Bribery Commission are scheduled to file the case before the Chief Magistrate tomorrow. This loss of 11.4 billion rupees was caused by handing the functions of vessels which safeguard weapons in the country from the Sri Lanka Navy to Avantgarde. Moreover, the Defence Ministry has directly intervened according to its own wishes and has handed over the service of providing maritime security. So this was how the money and income which was supposed to come to the government was given to this private company.
In other local news, Daisy Forrest, the grandmother of Yoshitha Rajapakse, was summoned to the Police Financial Crimes Investigations Division once again today.
The FCID recorded a statement from Daisy Forrest over land in the Ratmalana area.
The joint opposition expressed the following views about the Sri Lanka Freedom Party convention.
A chairman of the Kandy district together with a few MPs informed us that they won't be attending the convention. But after 2 days, 7 chairpersons of Pradesh Sabhas, 6 deputy chairpersons and a large number of councillors who were with the chief minister had promised that they will be attending the convention during a media briefing. Up until today, we have only 18 councillors in the Kandy district and so far we have lost only 1. That particular councillor called me 2 days ago and requested me not to corner him and that he will not leave the party. Now he also has started to hold discussions. A large group of people will arrive in Kurunagala for our party convention for the first time in the history.
In any party, when there are conventions, some members participate and some don't. But irrespective of whether they attend or not, they all enjoy the privileges equally. So this is not a big issue. Now if one of the members is abroad or if one of them is sick, they won't be able to attend the convention. So not attending the convention purposely is not considered as a huge problem.
The former president engages in foreign visits frequently. Does this have an impact on the government?
No, he goes abroad to get rid of the pressure. He himself says that it is better for him to go abroad as Vimal Veeravansu will make it worse for him if he stays here.
What sort of situation is he in?
We should ask him about that. That is why he goes abroad.
But doesn't he get invited from those countries? He even visited Korea on an invitation.
Yes, just because the state leaders get invited, they don't accept those invitations. I don't visit every country I get invited to. If we end up accepting those invitations, we will not be able to do anything to the country. So I think that it is a burden if he stays in the country, because everyone is attempting to use him to succeed. That is the problem.
Well, those were the responses made by the government to the joint opposition regarding the SLFP convention. Let's now take a look at the statements made by the joint opposition.
It is not the joint opposition. They are SLFPers in the opposition. I do not think that they will attend the convention. The Balamandala has decided and ordered them not to go.
Sri Lanka Rajapakse
As the team which represent the SLFP in the joint opposition, the decision we made under the leadership of Mahinda Rajapakse during the previous meeting is not to make decisions by the top management of the party, but to listen to the Balamandala. We will get to know the decisions made by them on Friday. So we are hoping to inform you of our decisions on the 2nd of next month.
අපේ අවසාන තීන්දුව හරියටම ඉගෙන දෙවනිදා අපි ඔබට මේ ස්ථානයේදීම ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා.
Speaking at a media briefing held at the Central Bank of Sri Lanka yesterday, Governor Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy commented on Sri Lanka's economic situation.
Given a world of very volatile capital flows, it becomes very important that you don't be in this category of so-called twin deficit countries. Countries with a budget deficit and a current account, balance of payments current account challenge. If you are in that category, clearly you are more vulnerable. Now, Sri Lanka has been in that category and probably still is, but the insurance we have again is the IMF program. If the market perception is that we are broadly on track with the IMF program, then I think there should be sufficient confidence in the economy for us not to be affected too badly. But you know, these things you can't predict. So markets can behave very irrationally, but I think the IMF program is useful at this point, because it's signaling effect will be helpful in trying to manage these possible negative consequences of a rate rise.
Core Cabinet spokesperson Minister Dr. Rajita Senaratne also responded to questions raised by journalists regarding former Maldivian President Mohammad Nasheed.
Nasheed.
Criminal, according to the Maldivian law. Why are you all allowing him to stay here? And were there any request from Maldives to hand over him to Maldives?
It's a problem of the judicial procedure. Even Mr. Nasheed was here before he became the president. He staged all his activities from Sri Lanka. Actually, he thanked the Sri Lankan government those days for accommodating him and allowing him to be in Sri Lanka to actually stage his propaganda and stage his other activities from Sri Lanka against the then President Gayum. That is how he toppled Gayum's government. That there was no problem about the Maldivian Sri Lankan friendship at that time.
So is he doing the same thing now also?
Yeah, he must be doing the same thing now in Sri Lanka.
Are you allowing the Maldivian opposition to topple the government?
No, there is no toppling of government. He is raising democratic issues.
Speaking at an event today to provide financial aid to another 1,500 families in Kurunegala under the Visiting Nivasan National Programme, Minister Sajith Premadasa expressed the following views.
President Maithripala Sirisena has named the year 2017 as the year to eradicate poverty. It is a timely program. Next year will become a year where a massive national initiative will take place to meet the objectives of eradicating poverty in our country. It was decided today that the full force of the diplomatic process of the country, the state sector, the administration sector of the country, as well as the financial strength of the country will be utilized to reach this historic target.
ඒ මහා ඓතිහාසික ඉලක්කය සම්පූර්ණ කර ගැනීම සඳහා යොදවන්නේ.
President of the Mahabodhi Society of Sri Lanka, Venerable Banagala Upatissa Thera, will travel to Singapore to attend the Indian Ocean Conference, which is scheduled to be held on the 1st and 2nd of September.
Venerable Banagala Upatissa Thera is attending the conference upon an invitation extended by the Indian think tank India Foundation. The conference, which will see the participation of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, is expected to draw eminent leaders from over 15 countries in the Indian Ocean region and will focus on how to create a zone of shared security, shared prosperity and shared development in the Indian Ocean region. The event, described as an initiative that convenes critical states, key stakeholders and principal maritime partners, is co-sponsored by the Institute of Policy Studies of Sri Lanka, Bangladesh Institute of International and Strategic Studies and the S. Rajaratnam School of International Studies.
A national workshop on health priorities for Sri Lanka was held in Colombo today.
The workshop was held to create awareness on the upcoming World Health Organization's Regional Committee for Southeast Asia, which will be held from the 5th to the 9th of September. Attention was also focused on key health topics which will be discussed during the WHO Regional Committee for Southeast Asia.
Now, World Health Organization has predicted by 2020 number of deaths due to cancers will be more than number of deaths due to heart disease. Tobacco has killed 100 million people last century, going to kill 1 billion people this century if it is continued like this. Recently, another cabinet paper has been submitted by His Excellency the President and the Minister of Health as a joint cabinet paper to increase the taxation from 72% to 90% and have a 15% VAT on that. That will increase the taxation, and taxation is one of the measures globally WHO has recommended to reduce the tobacco consumption.
A seminar on early childhood development took place in Galle this morning.
The event, which took place at the Radkama Bamse Sri Sudarshana Preschool, was organized by the Stepping Stones Montessori. The aim of this seminar was to meet preschool teachers in the area, understand the shortcomings that they face and train them in order to update them on the latest preschool teaching methods. A similar seminar was held in Jaffna recently, while another will be held in Colombo.
We are here today following a way that we carried out in the north and the east, where we visited many rural schools and saw the great need for improvement of schools and especially the training of teachers. This school is a great example of those two things. If given those opportunities, how the schools can serve the children and our community.
The portion of land on top of a tunnel system belonging to the Broadland hydropower project sunk for a second time last night.
The Broadland hydropower plant project was launched in 2013 to generate electricity by obstructing the Kalani River that flows through Kitulgala at Polpitia. The underground tunnels of the project that run through the Polpitia village has given rise to a number of issues. A portion of land on top of the tunnel system sunk in on the 7th of this month, and the project officials took measures to fill the land up. This is the manner in which the same location sunk in once again today, to an extent larger than the first time. Our correspondent stated that a backhoe machine and a lorry have been stuck inside the sinkhole. A group who were at the location obstructed the Newsfirst correspondent from obtaining footage of the sinkhole.
Why? Don't disturb me. Why? Don't disturb me.
Why?
Don't disturb. You can't disturb me. Okay, gentlemen. You can't disturb me.
Dr. Kamal Nimal Siri, the project director, stated that the weak nature of the earth at the location had been identified before. He added that steps had been taken to relocate the people who lived in the area.
They closed the hole once. It gave way once again. Even though they stated that this will be filled in a proper manner, it has not happened. We know that this will give way once again if they continue like this. There are about 7 more houses on the top of the tunnel.
The ecosystem and the residents of Makulwala area in Bandarawela were affected in a similar manner last January by the Umaoya multi-purpose project. The issue at the location arose when there was a leak in the tunnel system that was constructed to carry the excess water of the Dayanamba reservoir to the underground power plant in the Karandagolla area. The wells in the area that were filled with water dried up right before the eyes of the residents, and the heel lower too suffered a similar fate. The starting lake of the Kinindiya flows through here. Our field was the best field in the area before the Umawe project. The land has cracked up and it is in this state now because of the Umawe project. Will a similar situation arise with the Kalani River through the Broadland project?
The source of this project is going to be the water from the Kalani River. This will cause the water in the Kalani River to reduce, the carbon levels to reduce, and the oxygen levels to reduce. It can reduce and increase. This fluctuation can create problems for the flora and fauna of the area. The ground structure of our country has horizontal and vertical layers of land. If you cut a tunnel across vertical layers of land, then there will be a chance that water seeps in through the area of the tunnel that is being excavated. The land will fill the vacuum that is created by this. My opinion is that when there are vertical layers of land, excavation of any sort should not be carried out.
This was how these area residents rejoiced when they realized that their unfulfilled dreams will now become a reality.
Another project commenced today under the government, the 100 Days Initiative, with the aim of improving the lives of the general public.
The Gammadda 100-Day Initiative. With the people, for the people.
In the past, Gammadda was where villagers used to gather. However, today the Gammadda 100 Days Initiative has become a place where people's aspirations are being fulfilled. This is the community hall in which villagers of the Vilajya Yayatuna in Anuradhapura gather. This community hall, which is used by 5 rural associations, is also used by students to engage in educational activities due to the absence of a separate location for this purpose. Area residents say that although this hall is used by politicians to hold meetings, attention has never been focused on renovating these premises. However, through the Gammadda 100 Days Initiative, renovation activities of this community hall commenced today. Our only hope is to take this country to a better place. This is just one project. Several other projects are due to commence. We cannot undertake this task on our own. We need your support. At some media institutions, news is when a person is mauled to death by a wild elephant. Under the 100 Days program, I saw the manner in which an elephant fence was erected before such tragedy happens. I believe that this task by the Sirasa Media Network is an example set out to all. Steps have also been taken to establish the Gammadda Savya Society in the area upon completion of the project. The protection of lives and property is one of my sole responsibilities. Although these lives do not matter to the urban areas, these lives matter to the village. The task undertaken by the Capital Maharaja organization for the people is priceless. If people do not have a community hall for a meeting, what should we do for the people who are suffering? Although the high political authorities are in Colombo inside AC rooms driving luxurious vehicles, they do not understand the pain of the village people.
And that's it for tonight for the Newsfirst team.